place far, far, far away, there was this nice, beautiful brothel. Do you all know what a brothel is?
No.
It is a house of prostitution.
Ah.
So there was,
Brother.
yes,
Brother.
brothel.
Brother.
Okay, this brother. There was this beautiful brother with lot of beautiful, happy girls that used to live and work in complete harmony. Also, clients were very happy in there, so it was a really, really, really nice place. In that place, there also lived a couple parrots. They were female parrots. Well, time passed by, then one very famous client went to this brothel and he hired one of the girls, the owner of the parrots. He took her with him to another place to make X-rated movies. So she couldn't take her parrots along with her, and she decided to send them to her older sister. This older sister was a very, very religious lady. Well, she received the parrots, and the parrots all day were yelling, "Hey, we are prostitutes. Wanna have a little fun?" So this lady was really embarrassed because everybody was hearing that, we are prostitutes. Well, she went to her preacher and told her about the situation. And her preacher said, "My dear, don't worry. I have two little male parrots. All they do every day, all day, is pray the rosary. They are praying. So bring your female parrots and they will learn how to pray." So well, this lady did so. She took her parrots and well, they were together, female parrots and male parrots. And male parrots were so focused in their praying, they were holding a rosary. "Oh, Hail Mary, you're blessed," and so on, so on, so on. Until these ladies said, "We are prostitutes. Wanna have a little fun?" And then one parrot said, "Hey, shut up. We just made it to heaven." So well, this story made me remember my mom. Of course, because she is a very religious lady. Yes. And a friend of mine told me that she fulfills the religious lady stereotype. So that made me think a lot about stereotypes. Do you know what a stereotype is?
Yes.
It's a popular belief about some type of people, certain types. For example, we all believe that black men are very good dancers. We believe that blonde girls are not really smart. We believe that all rock stars use drugs and that the bodybuilders cannot read. So how does a scientist looks like? You may remember this 1985 movie, Back to the Future. Those of you that are old enough to remember that. In which this scientist made a time machine out of his car in his backyard. This scientist, well, he didn't care about his dressing. He had a long hair every time, messy hair. He didn't have many friends. He lived alone. He only had this young guy that was his only friend, this high school student guy. And that was the typical scientist. Maybe you remember this picture of Albert Einstein with his hair all messy and so on. So we all believe scientists are much more like that. Maybe you have seen this sitcom, The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, very popular. You have these four guys, nerds, real rocket scientists that know everything about computers and technology and so on, but they lack all social skills. And there's this beautiful, large-breasted, blonde girl that knows nothing about science, and is not really smart, but she has lots of common sense and all social skills. And there's also this guy that was the boyfriend of this girl, of the blonde. This guy is a tall, full of muscles football player. Well, that's another stereotype. So I love this sitcom, full of stereotypes. So, how true are those stereotypes? Do you believe they really work in real life? I remember when I was 14 years old, well, much younger, I saw this other movie, Karate Kid. Maybe you remember that also, about this skinny guy that got bullied in school, and he met this stereotype of martial art teacher, this World War II veteran that taught him how to fight. But he didn't teach him only how to fight, he also taught him about morality, virtues, temperance, which is restraining from human passions. Well, also I saw lots of other movies with this same sensei stereotype, movies with Van Damme and Jackie Chan, Jet Li, and so on. Every time it will be an old wise man that kept himself in very good physical shape and act as a spiritual guide, almost as a sage. You might remember Yoda in Star Wars. He was very fit, he could fight, but he was a sage, very spiritual. So when I was 14 years old, I also got hazed in school. One day, I decided it had to stop. I went to a judo academy where I met my sensei. Now I must tell you, this sensei, my sensei, he was not a sensei, he was the sensei. He's the one that brought martial arts to Mexico. So every martial art teacher in this country either studied with him or with one of his students, his graduate. Well, he was an old man. He was 75 years old at that time. And yes, I took him immediately as my spiritual guide. Of course, at that time, I was young and I was naive. I was like that kid that sent a letter to Santa Claus saying, "Santa, please send me a sister." And Santa wrote back and said, "Okay, send me your mother." I was like that. But I believe my teacher, my sensei, didn't really fulfill this image, this stereotype of spiritual guide, morality, and all of that. First of all, he had a very aggressive philosophy. And also, he had a great appreciation for women, especially young women. He had lots of women aged 15 to 19 years old, and also he had his real girlfriend who was 23 years old at the time. Maybe because, unlike Mr. Miyagi, this sensei was very rich. He drove a Mercedes-Benz and a Cadillac and was always carrying a big pack of money. So, well, he had many girls. He also kept himself in good shape. He didn't look that old also. He used to dye his